Howdy y'all, today's video is about the Garden of Eden and how it used to be the greatest places in the whole wide world when it was just Adam and Steve, long before Eve came along and ruined everything with her demands and expectations. You know, Purdy, gardening without the wives is a bit like being on a deserted island, but with more petunias and less sunburns. Exactly, Jimmy. It's peaceful. No one to nag us about being in the dirt all day or tracking mud into the house. It's just the two of us, our pretty plants, and the open sky. Right, and no complaints about how long we're out here. We can prune these roses till the missus send out search parties with weed whackers. Or until our backs give out. Speak for yourself, Jimmy. I'm as spry as an upset soda in a washing machine. And I'm the Easter Bunny. But honestly, this is the life. The two of us bros, our garden, and no honey-do list. I just couldn't agree more. It's our little slice of heaven. Exactly. Sort of makes you feel like a king in your own little kingdom, doesn't it? A king with a spade and a watering can. There's no huffing and puffing or stomping off and shutting the bedroom door. Just silence. It's golden. That reminds me of something I read the other day. What's that? From the Bible. What about it? From the Garden of Eden? Yeah. What is it? Have you ever wondered about the first people in the garden? Yeah. Like Adam and Eve? I think it's all a load of bunk. They just don't want us to know the truth. Who doesn't? The missus. You think there's more to the story? There's always one or three sides to every story, Jimmy. Think about it. Man's punishment was to get kicked out of his man cave and find a high-paying job in the city. What for's? I mean, everything a man needs anyway don't even cost no money. Yeah, I never thought about it like that before. Peace and quiet, a little hanky-panky, and a couple laughs with the guys is all we've been after. You might be onto something, Purdy. Now turn to the woman. The childbirth thing? Some belly gas. A tummy ache? Basically indigestion, Jimmy. That's it. They get the whole red carpet rolled out to them when they give birth to the baby, with all kinds of staff and waiting on them, hand and foot. They get flowers, exotic chocolates, and cards from coworkers. They even get drugs, Jimmy. Drugs. A little belly disturbance. That's it. I think I took a Tums for my bellyache. Then's for the rest of their lives. They get to wear sweatpants with unshaven legs and watch daytime talk shows on the sofas. I missed when Steve Wilkos left the Springer Show. The missus, she done got to see that while we were working all day. Exactly. That actually makes sense. No presents, no kisses. You didn't do the honey-do list for me today? I'm not shaving my legs. You didn't do such and such for me today? Then mommy's off limits. But she done went to the doctor today and shaved everything, Jimmy. Bare as a bald-headed seal. Why? Because she knows he's got lots of green pieces of paper. Money. They need green pieces of paper and completed honey-do list for hanky-panky. Exactly. But we need hanky-panky for green pieces of paper and completed honey-do lists. It's a conundrum. I mean, our only mistake was to blame them for giving us the apple, which they did do, and they've continued to use it against us ever since, always making us feel that it was our fault for the screw-up, that it was us, that the reason we lost our man pad, and now's to make up for it, we have to buy them presents. Who knew this story had such deep beginnings? Well, they won't give us any deep endings, unless we give them green pieces of paper and completed honey-do lists. You said something about it being all bunk. If it wasn't Adam and Eve, who was it? Adam and Steve, Jimmy. Adam and Steve. Imagine a paradise. Every day in our shoeless pigsies, kissing the ground cover, and nightly sky talks with our cloud neighbor. I bet they had ancient video games, unlimited beers on tap, and sports to watch all day. And don't forget, ancient Atari and Pong tourneys, 10-cent wing days, and no rules against drinking out of cartons or leaving chip bags open on the counter. And they never done had to clean the microwave. Then along comes Eve. Classic woman move. Wearing spandex and a half shirt and flinging her hair, bringing all these demands and expectations. You guys are bums, messy moles. Steve is bringing you down. You're not allowed to hang out with him anymore, mister. And just like that, paradise lost. Next thing you know, Adam's out there working himself to the bone because she wants nice things and a big home. All because of expectations. She comes along with her Apple ideas and don't do this and don't do that rules book. Like a referee, making calls nobody likes. Breaking news, paradise turns into a micromanager's wet dream. Organization and tidiness efforts underway. All clothes must now hang on hangers or folded in drawers. Adam to grow up and get a job. Stay tuned for the weather. Some might say she introduced culture. Or say, feelings. Not feelings, anything but that, Jimmy. The world's first virus. Before you know it, Adam's learning words like empathy and compromise. And anniversary dates. Don't forget those. If you miss one, it's like you've committed the cardinal sin all over again. The horror. And then come the we need to talk evenings. Right? Where we means you listen, bucko. And if you drift off, it's like you've eaten the forbidden fruit again. Exactly. And it's not just any fruit. It's the why don't you ever listen to me fruit, which tastes a lot like guilt with a side of silent treatment. And don't get me started on date nights. Poor Adam and Steve. They probably thought every night in Eden was date night before Eve comes along. But nope, now there's a schedule. And rules. And expectations. And heaven forbid, Adam forgets to compliment Eve's new fig leaf outfit. Or if he doesn't put the seat down on their toilet seat. You'd think he just got beamed aboard the Tower of Babel. The way she'd launch into 100 languages of nagging. And thus, the simple life in Eden becomes a long list of do's and don'ts. All because Adam had to share his paradise with an apple and a to-do list. So you see, Jimmy, Eden wasn't about the original sin of eating the apple. It was about Adam crossing sideways into Eve's rules. Purdy, you should write a book about this. I'll start it right after I finish my honey-do list. It might be a whiles, and I'll be the first to buy it. Right after I find where I left my anniversary calendar. Hopefully our wives don't make us move away from each other like Adam and Eve. What do you think happened to Steve? Poor Steve probably got booted out to make room for Eve's new decor and her apple-scented candles. Or maybe he ran off to start his own Eden. One with less rules and more freedom. Probably has a sign at the entrance. No apples or to-do lists allowed. Imagine that. A place where every day is a lazy Sunday. And you don't need to wake up until the game starts. Where the biggest decision is to eat cold cereals. Or make the perfect couch fort. Steve's Paradise. Where the beer flows like waterfalls. And the only sound is the occasional cheer for a touchdown. A place where plants don't need pruning and the grass cuts itself. And where the microwave is self-cleaning. Sounds better than 50-yard line seats at the Super Bowls. I bet that's where Adam sneaks off to when Eve thinks he's out working. I wouldn't blame him. A man's gotta have his sanctuary. Freedom from schedules and those pesky anniversary dates. You think Eve asked him questions like, do you think I look fat? Oh, you bet she did. And Adam, poor fella, had to walk the tightrope. No, Eve, you look as slender as the day God made you. But he's thinking about them ribs he lost. And the classic, what are you thinking? If Adam says nothing, it's a trap. If he says everything, it's a longer conversation. Then there's the, do these leaves make me look green question? There's no right answer to that one. Adam probably missed the days when the only question was, hey, Steve-O, you want another beer? Hey, Steve-O, you want another beer-o? Simple times. Before's the era of the loaded question. Or, happy wife is a happy life. Exactly. Life in Eden got complicated fast. From lounging with lions to navigating emotional minefields. That's why Steve's Paradise sounds so appealing. No tricky questions, no emotional gymnastics, just peace, quiet, and the game's on TV. Only now the game is full of Taylor Swift images, hogging the spotlight, like a dry sponge soaking up every drop of attention at a water party. Don't get me started, Jimmy. She gets more attraction than the star players. If Eve was here, she'd probably make Adam watch Taylor's new movie over the chef's game. Yeah, and instead of discussing which team might win, she'd have him listening to a lecture about how bad Taylor's exes were. And how it was all their faults and not hers. And how if he ever did anything remotely like they did, he'd be in big, ground-shaking trouble. Imagine Adam missing the good old days of simple sports talk and wing nights with Steve-O. And now he's got a schedule for TV watching. No more spontaneous channel flipping. Poor guy. From spontaneous channel surfing, feeling like he just got cast in Full Metal Jacket, having to watch his every misstep. Exactly. Every move planned out. Every night's activity scrutinized. Being asked questions where there's no right answers, it's like walking on eggshells. And if he steps out of line, bam! He's in for a one-way talk about responsibility and how he's just a no-good schlep like his father. Adam's life went from carefree to carefully monitored. From Tiki Hut concerts with Steve-O to, did you remember to do everything I told you to? Exactly how I wanted you to do it? Or else I will be upset. Talk about a tough transition. From buddy hangouts to being on high alert for the next household decree. Yeah, it's like swapping a lounge chair massage in the backyard for a board meeting. No more shooting the breeze and getting the kinks out. Just agenda items. Gone are the days of impromptu football tosses. Now it's all about, did you remember to pick up the dry cleanings? And if you forget, it's not just a fumble, it's a personal foul. He probably misses those days of doing whatever felt right at the moment. Oh, you know it. Sometimes you just want to kick back without a couple sharp blades hanging over your noggin. No way would I switch places with him. Thank goodness we still have our little slice of nature. The place where we go to get nurture. Away from our two drill sergeants. I bet no one cares if you cheer too loud or spill something on the floor at Steve's place. Exactly. No inquest to deal with. No fuss about mess or noise. You can put your feet up. Order takeout with no cooking and drop crumbs in the cushions. Right? A place where the remote is always where you left it. And no one changes the channel mid-game. Where the spatula always stays in the same place on the counter. That's the most annoying one of all, Jimmy. And the fridge, always stocked with your favorite snacks. No shopping list in sight. Maybe that's the real heaven, Jimmy. A place where you can drop crumbs in the cushions. That's the dream, Purdy. Where do you think women go to get their slice of heaven? I was thinking the salon or a plastic surgeon's office in Miami. But I almost think their heavenly oasis is bossing us around. I really want to go to Steve's place. You think he'd have us? You think he'd have us? I don't know. He'd be pretty old by now, but at least we've got our garden here. Probably only a mini version of Steve's. Too bad we don't have the self-cleaning microwave. Do you remember when they said they'd be home? The missus? Yours and mine. I don't remember. But who's counting the minutes? Exactly. Who needs a clock when you got the sun and the soil? This is our time, Purdy. It's like we're on our own little island. No questioning glances. If we want to sit and watch the clouds, that's exactly what we'll do. Until they get home. Until they get home. I can't remember the last time I just sat and watched the clouds. Always something to fix. Somewhere to be. Here, the only thing we have to fix is maybe a sandwich for lunch. Speaking of lunch, what do you say we fire up the grill? Now you're talking. A bit of grilling and a cold drink beats a fancy restaurant any day. And no reservations or fancy suits required. You think Adam ever got the grill? Or was it all figs and berries for him? I bet he dreamt of a good barbecue. Can you imagine? Eve, forget the apple. Let's have ribs tonight. Ha, ribs. Adam could have used a couple more of those. Especially after Eve showed up. Remember how Adam used to name all the creatures? I bet now he's got to name all the items on the shopping list. And not just name them, but remember their exact brand and where they're located in the store. It's like a scavenger hunt, but with more consequences if you get it wrong. I can just picture him wandering the aisles, lost and confused, wishing he was back with Steve-O. Seriously, it's like you need a GPS to find something these days. The way they keep moving things around. The animals never cared if he called a robin a hippo. But forget one item off that list, and it's the end of the world. You think Eve has him on one of them grocery apps? Adam, did you check the app for the latest sales? Oh, for sure. And you know there are notifications for everything. Adam, you're passing the dairy aisle. Pick up the almond milk. Almond milk. Remember when the only milk Adam had to worry about was milk from goats? Good old days, Purdy. Now it's all about gluten-free and fun-free. We might not have a paradise like Steve-O, but at least we're free from the tyranny of the shopping list here. Speak of the devil. Sounds like the higher-ups have returned. Quick, Jimmy, look busy. If they catch us just lounging, we'll never hear the ends of it. Right. We've got to show some progress here. Can't have them thinking we've been slacking the day away. Yeah, what have you been doing all day? And did you remember to fix that squeaky gate? I can hear it now. All right, grab that hammer. Pretend we're just finishing up some major repairs. Major repairs? Jimmy, the most we done is chase away a couple of squirrels. Details, Purdy, details. Just swing the hammer near that loose board. It'll look convincing enough. I feels like a bad actor in a low-budget play. Come on, Purdy. We're dedicated workers fixing vital infrastructure. Get into character. If only our actual job description was half as exciting as your imagination. I've got an idea. Grab that clipboard and start checking off imaginary tasks. I'll shuffle these papers around. Jimmy, this clipboard is blank. What am I supposed to be checking off? Anything. Just make it look like you're deeply concerned about, clipboard things. Clipboard things? Very technical. And you with the papers, you look like a tornado hit an office supply store. Perfect. Tornadoes are busy and chaotic. Just what we need. I feels ridiculous. What if they ask what I'm doing? Improvise. Say you're auditing something. Audits always sound important. Auditing the inefficiency of our make-believe work. Got it. Here they come. Act natural. No, look strained. Like you've been at it for hours. And remember, we're very, very busy. Got it. If they ask, we've been recalibrating the, thingamajig. And don't forget the whatchamacallit. It needed urgent attention too. How could I forget? That's a crucial piece, Jimmy. Wow, that was close. They didn't even come out here. Guess we dodged a bullet, Purdy. Yeah, but next time, let's have a backup plan that doesn't involve imaginary tools and equipment. Agreed. But hey, for a couple rookies, we make a great team improvising. Yep, crisis averted. But we better wrap up soon, just in case they comes back out. Back to our paradise tomorrow, Purdy? Absolutely, Jimmy. Same time, same Garden of Eden.
Just to recap, this story was about Adam and Eve. I'm Purdy Jenkins. There's Adam right there with the leaf over him. Everything was perfect in the Garden of Eden. He was relaxing and doing not much doing of anything until, oh my God, the light came down from heaven and a beautiful woman appeared and he lost his freaking mind because all she had on was a leaf. Oh my garski. Yeah.